All right, thanks for staying tuned. Welcome to this segment of The Verdict, which is our election coverage program. Yesterday, when Ijoma and I were saying good night, we were saying, well, barring any unforeseen circumstances,
it should kick off at 7 a.m.
It should kick off today. Well, the unforeseen has, in fact, happened, and the elections have been postponed by a week. So this time next week, Saturday, again, all things being equal, instead of watching us from the comfort of your home, you should be on a queue somewhere expecting to vote.
Yes, and also for the governorship, we're expecting that on the 9th of March. And it was amazing to see the way Lagos was silent this morning and there was no traffic at all. But the first thing we want to get from you is your reaction to the postponement when you heard the announcement, if you had feelers of it last night or today. So what we're asking you to do is do a 30-minute video and then tag us on Instagram, on Facebook, tag us on Twitter as well, and just tell us what your reaction is briefly now in 30 seconds, that is, only. There you go. You have hashtag The Verdict, hashtag 2019 elections. On Twitter, it's @Channels TV, and on Instagram, it's Channels Television. You can also continue to send us information and all that through hashtag Channels TV, hashtag The Verdict, and hashtag 2019 elections. We're waiting to hear your reactions to what we all are reacting to this morning.
Okay, all of this started very early this morning, depending on where you were at the time it happened, when the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, did formally announce this postponement. It is not a cancellation, it is a postponement. Please, let's listen to him.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, met on Friday, 15th February 2019, and reviewed its preparations for the 2019 general elections, scheduled for Saturday, 16th February 2019, and Saturday, 5th March 2019. Following a careful review of the implementation of its logistics and operational plan, and the determination to conduct free, fair, and credible elections, the Commission came to the conclusion that proceeding with the election as scheduled is no longer feasible. Consequently, the Commission has decided to reschedule the Presidential and National Assembly elections to Saturday, 23rd February 2019. Furthermore, the Governorship, State House of Assembly, and Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections are rescheduled to Saturday, 9th March 2019. This will afford the Commission the opportunity to address identified challenges in order to maintain the quality of our elections. This was a difficult decision for the Commission to take, but necessary for the successful delivery of elections and the consolidation of our democracy.
All right, there you have it. Both elections postponed by a week. That means from 16th to 23rd, and from the 2nd of March to the 9th of March. So what exactly does this mean? And of course, I'm sure all morning you've been getting reactions both on the set here and from people across the country about what this means. The reactions are varied, from bemusement to disappointment to shock to outright anger, the whole works. But we're going to get more reaction. And for that, we're being joined here in the studios in Lagos by Mr. Babatunde Okala, the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Let me start immediately by throwing it at you.
Yes, please do.
Your party stands accused of putting this pressure on INEC to postpone the elections. Now, depending on who you are reading, the reasons vary from you want to rig to you haven't perfected the rigging to you deliberately created a situation where conflict of interest meant that deliverables didn't come on time. You may have heard Alhaji Buba Galadima, the spokesperson of the PDP in the previous segment, alleging that a contract for PVCs and card readers was handed over to a known known APC candidate in Niger State and so on. I mean, the allegations of what, as legal advisor, what's your first reaction?
No, you see, if you say the things you have quoted Alhaji Buba Galadima as having said, I think nobody takes Baba Galadima seriously anymore when he makes his regular, rather unguarded comments. You remember that was the same man that said he formed a reformed APC and was part of a PDP meeting. That was a man that came campaigning purportedly for PDP on
let's stick to the issue at hand now.
And wore APC logo. So I don't take Buba Galadima any seriously. I mean, he has asserted, so the burden of proof is on him when he makes such wild allegations that I cannot respond to. So please permit me to discountenance that and let us face the substance of the issues at hand. First, I must say, both personally and as a party, everybody, in fact, the average Nigerian, any well-meaning Nigerian, must be extremely disappointed, extremely sad, extremely unhappy about this postponement. And for several reasons. We talk about credibility of our elections. We talk about the expectations of Nigerians. People were gearing up. I was gearing up only for us to wake up to this unfortunate. In fact, I'm sure some got to know about the postponement with their PVC in hand, preparing to go to the polling units. And I'm even sure many people may not even be aware up till now. It depends on your access to information and technology. So it is quite disappointing. I can tell you APC is extremely disappointed that this had to happen. We have issued a statement. We are extremely disappointed in it. We were ready. We have deployed all machinery to go through the electoral process. I can tell you that's why I'm in Lagos. I would have been at the headquarters where I have my office. But of course, we all had to return back to base. And only for us to get here and wake up to hear that elections had been postponed. If INEC knew it was going to do this, it could have perhaps done it longer. But then they gave their reasons, logistics problems, some of which we've read, we've gotten snippets. But one thing I will not lose sight of, there have been claims that these elections will be postponed from a certain section, not from us. We have never called for postponement of elections, an election that we're sure to win. Even we've seen the Ballard Partners that was engaged, the American consultancy. I'm sure you know who Ballard Partners are, that was engaged by our main opposition, the main opposition party. With their reports clearly told them and even advised that they could not go far unless this position. But I will not make wild allegations. I would not honestly make wild or substantiated allegations against anybody. This is supposed to be a sober moment for all of us, for our democracy, for the survival of our country. And as statesmen, that is what I believe our thought process should be.
Sorry, in response to what
Yes.
Blady asked you,
Yes.
he had talked about being guilty as charged or
Yes.
being indicted. So you don't think that, being that your party is the ruling party, APC,
Yes.
this is happening under your watch, you don't take any responsibility?
Well, APC cannot take responsibility because the Constitution says it shall be an independent body, Independent National Electoral Commission. I mean, this is a body, as of Thursday, that was telling the same ruling party that we are saying ought to be in control of it, ought to pretend it. He's telling us we cannot have candidates in Zamfara. He's telling us, APC, today we don't have candidates in Rivers. If we had absolute control, like some had over the Morizivos of this world, when we remember an Iwu era and what the electoral process was. I mean, who would the INEC chairman dare say? I don't want to go back to John Fewonsu days, but Maurice Iwu, 2000, 2003, is very, very, very fresh in our memories, and we know how elections were conducted at that time.
Let me put you on pause, Mr. Ogala, and go to Abuja, to our Abuja studios, where we're also being joined by the presidential candidate of the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, Mr. Tokpe Fashua, as well as Mr. Frank Schweib, the Special Advisor Media to the Atiku presidential campaign. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good morning. How do you do?
Thank you so much for being with us on this morning. I'm sure both of you have been listening to Mr. Ogala of the APC. Let me start with you, Frank, to respond. First of all, before you actually go to responding, why don't you just give us your own first, and I'm talking of you now as a person, your own first reaction to the announcement of the postponement?
Well, the announcement of the postponement did not come to us as a surprise because we picked intelligence about this over 2 weeks ago. You know that the APC ordinarily should have known that they are up against a man who is not a naive politician, but a man who is not just cosmopolitan, but who has an assemblage of a quality team that are able to pick intelligence. More so that we have even, in fact, a reverend man of God recently gave a prophetic comment, I think on the 9th of January, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, where he said, look, elections will not hold in Nigeria. It will be postponed. People took it for a joke, but today it has come to pass. Last minute they're going to postpone it. But we had our own intelligence network. We knew it was going to happen, but what we wanted to do was, look, these guys have a template, and that was why they started with the body bag story. That was why they started with, oh, we don't want interference from America, we don't want interference from EU, we don't want interference from the UK. And we said, look, why are you guys afraid? These guys have been monitoring elections in Nigeria. But we kept on putting pressure on the observer community to stay put. They shouldn't be afraid of the body bags narrative by Governor El-Rufai, but they should stay and be resolute on monitoring the elections so that they can strengthen our democracy in Nigeria.
I need to put this point across. The president of the country, General Buhari, had in fact repudiated the story about the body bags and had told the whole country that the observers were safe and should go about their duties across the country, guaranteeing their safety. So I just wanted to put that there, not defending anyone, but just as a statement of fact, so that you don't tar everybody with the same brush. It is true that General Governor El-Rufai did make that statement. That's correct. And that at the time of the statement, the presidency was said to have backed him. But the president on national television repudiated that. I just wanted to clarify that. Please go on.
No, your clarification is, even, as far as I'm concerned, will amount to even a waste of productive time and a productive exercise. Because the question is, at the time El-Rufai made that comment, the presidential spokesman Garba Shehu came up to back that comment up. So he issued a statement, he backed it up. So if the president came days after to come to repudiate that, it's an afterthought. They knew the backlash they got from Nigerians. It was simply an afterthought. So, and nobody will take that as any sensible comment coming from them, because we already know what their position is on the matter. Anyway, that is even by the way. It was part of their plot, carefully orchestrated. We picked intelligence. You see, we have an array of intelligence network on this election. And they should know by now that, look, we have the capacity to outfox them, all their plans. And that is why we call on Nigerians to come all out to vote, whether today, whether next Saturday. But the question is this. Their game plan was simple. Cancel elections in 10 states due to what they call logistics problems. And which was the position that was canvassed yesterday at the meeting.
Are you
case
talking
for the
about
international
cancelling the
observers,
elections
that
or
the observer
postponing
community
them?
that were
Are you
there,
talking about cancelling the
they would have
elections
gone
or
ahead to
postponing?
Yes.
Was it cancelling or
No.
postponing?
What they
You
would
used
have
the word
done, what they would
cancelling.
have done was simple. Do what we call a partial postponement.
No, I think you know, you need to stick to the facts.
Because I don't get what
yeah.
you...
Well, what is a partial
what's the
postponement?
partial postponement?
They have said it's going to be shifted, and they've given a date when the election will hold. And you've made a lot of statements there which you really cannot substantiate. So the issue we're asking you to speak about is how you react to that.
How you reacted.
Not
how
what
did you react?
somebody else has said for now.
No, you are not speaking. No. You don't say, you are not speaking, you don't speak for INEC. I'm telling you what I feel and what we know. So if I'm supposed to give you what we know and the intelligence we gathered, I should be able to express that on national television. The idea is simple. The plot was simple, and it was carefully scripted by the ruling party. So, and we do not blame INEC. They tried to put pressure on INEC, and the observer community was able to resist that and insisted that, look, if there must be a postponement, if you must reschedule this election, it must be a full postponement and not to stagger the elections.
Okay,
so
Mr. Schwab, let me just put you on pause. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Let me just put you on pause so that we can take a quick break and then get the reaction of Mr. Fashwa, who is sitting there, to everything that you've said and his reaction to the postponement, which was our original question, in a moment.